lives. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Dr. Paul Hutchison.
Speaker, from the outset, I want to acknowledge Larissa Wall and her thoughtfulness and preparedness to speak with me at very short notice, both knowledgeably and incredibly wisely on this very important bill. Secondly, might I acknowledge my constituents in Hunua who have answered many surveys that I have put out and have thoughtfully and with great effort and passion sent me many emails and letters regarding this bill. I've thought long and hard about it, and despite the Herald depicting me this morning as voting against it, and many attempts, I simply cannot construct a strong enough intellectual, moral, health, or even spiritual argument against it. Consequently, I will be voting for it. As was also mentioned by the Herald a few weeks ago, within a few hours of this bill being drawn from the ballot, I had the Christian lobby in my local electorate asking for an appointment, and they certainly gave me their very clear views, which I respect. But subsequent to that, I have had many conversations throughout the electorate from people from many walks of life. I very much respect that Larissa Wall sees the major issue is about ensuring that all New Zealanders have equal rights regardless of gender or sexual orientation. We have a system of separation of church and state, and this bill clearly relates only to civil law and preserves the right of churches to decide who they may marry. I very much hope that the churches appreciate that fact. I would certainly be against the bill if that was not the case. My initial reticence in supporting the bill came from my concern that some of the issues around it have not been fully explored by way of national conversations, that there is no strong New Zealand evidence base, and that we are travelling fast to come to a result on an issue that many New Zealanders on either side feel very deeply about, issues that have profound sociological implications. I ask, should the New Zealand Parliament be in the first instance initiating expert or select committee inquiries into the new birth technologies, adoption, the spectrum of sexuality and gender difference, children's rights, and the evidence from the New Zealand experience so far, be it fairly short. I understand that currently a female adult in New Zealand can adopt both a boy and a girl, but a male can only adopt a boy and only in exceptional circumstances a girl. With the passage of this bill, that will change instantaneously, and that is a big change that does need exploring. But in the end, it boils down to the same premise that all New Zealanders should have the right to civil marriage irrespective of race, sex or gender. I was deeply concerned to hear that gay adolescents have a suicide rate 5 to 8 times that of heterosexual adolescents in a country that already has an appallingly high suicide rate. And on conversations with the Honourable Marion Street and Kevin Haig, they both tell me that it will make a profound difference to the marginalisation that adolescents feel. From a health perspective, we should be doing everything possible to create an environment in New Zealand where everyone feels they're included. I accept that. I'm impressed that the Anglican Church here in New Zealand is moving, albeit slowly but progressively, by appointing a commission of study led by Sir Anand Satyanyand and Tamati Reddy. I want to see these issues widely debated and studied in the New Zealand context, and I hope they will submit to the Select Committee. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I sincerely hope that the committee process will be thorough and robust, and will be committed to openly address the sort of issues I have brought up and many more. While I personally would have preferred a slower process regarding this legislation, as I said earlier, I simply cannot construct an intellectual, moral, health or spiritual argument against it. In fact, the reverse is very much the case. I support it.
John Hayes.